Haven't caught up with him in a while, so that'll be fun. If you listen to the show on iHeartRadio from outside Ohio, tell me where you do that so I can make sure you are on our map of people around the country and beyond. There are people who listen overseas when they're so inclined. Kyle is our bureau chief in Grinnell, Iowa. Josh listens in Leicester, England, when he's able. Krista listens in Ponce, Puerto Rico. Richard's in the Florida Keys. Jonah is in Austin, Texas. And Alex and Sarah, our new bureau chiefs in Gardiner, Maine, up the coast there. Boat show! Yeah. I would want a boat just for the name.
To name the boat?
Just to name the boat.
You like puns.
God, I love puns.
Mm-hmm. So?
Si, senor.
Okay, I was like, come on.
No, I'll tell you, it's not even a pun. I thought one of the funniest boat names I saw was Unsinkable 2. I love that. Because, thinker.
Thinker.
Yeah. Aquaholic.
Uh-huh.
You couldn't use that anymore.
No.
But,
you're addicted
I'm still an alcoholic.
But you drink water. That's what aqua means.
Aquaholic, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Drink water. Yeah, like alcohol could be fine.
Yeah.
Cirrhosis of the river, not so good.
Right.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to go with that. The Codfather. Water you looking at? Whatever. Out of Dix Hills, New York. So, yeah, I remember years ago my brother bought a boat, and I wish for the life of me I could remember what he named it. I don't even know if he named it. I don't think he named it. Because I think some people...
Bad luck to have a boat without a name.
Would you?
Well, it's bad luck to have one without a name. You got to name it.
Oh, it's bad luck to have one without a name. Yeah, but aren't boat enthusiasts, aren't they kind of purists in that? Doesn't your boat have to be a certain size to give it a name? Like nobody names their fishing boat or their canoe, or do they? I mean,
yeah, I don't think it's for canoes. I think it's for like perhaps
bigger boats.
Yeah, more like a
leisure boat.
I think of the Stugatz, like about that size and up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like a bigger fishing boat.
Yeah. Or like a tiny yacht.
Has anyone seen the Wheel of Fortune video?
I have not seen the video, but I saw the puzzle, and I am amazed that this woman could not... It was a woman, right?
Yeah, there were 3 people.
Yeah.
She took multiple cracks at it and couldn't get it. I only saw this because I saw Pat Sajak on Twitter. Listen... This is the least inflammatory thing I've ever seen Pat Sajak tweet about, by the way. But he was coming to the defense of these contestants. He's like, look, they're like multiple tweets. He had a whole thread about this, about cut these people some slack because everybody was just breaking this chick's balls after they failed to solve a puzzle that most people thought was pretty rudimentary. Another feather in your cap. And she has 90% of the letters. And she keeps taking stab after stab at it. It was a couple of minutes of watching her try to nail this phrase.
I'll buy a vowel.
Okay.
An O.
2 O's.
I'll solve.
Okay.
Another feather in your hat.
No. Christopher.
Sajak did go on to say in his Twitter thread that some people do say another feather in your hat. I've never heard that. Doesn't mean that people don't do it, but obviously it was wrong.
Wasn't there already a P at the end, or no?
No.
Okay.
All that's missing is the I from in, the U in your, and the first and third letter in cap.
Okay.
So she has the A.
T is in feather. There's a T in feather.
Yes.
So she should have known that wasn't hat.
That was Sajak's point. These people, he goes, when you're on your couch watching Wheel of Fortune, it's super easy to scream at these people. When you're there and you're under pressure,
get all flustered.
He was trying to make a case. Hey, let these people are trying to have fun and win some money. Blah, blah, blah. Usually he's talking about how climate change is a liberal hoax and things like that. So
he should be thrilled that this lady couldn't figure out the puzzle, because that's why this clip is viral. Like, that's the only time we ever hear about Wheel of Fortune, when somebody has a puzzle right in front of their face and they can't figure it out.
Oh, I'm sure that part doesn't bother him. But he really came to their defense.
650.
G.
No G.
Gee.
Thomas.
Another feather in your gap.
It wasn't another feather in your bag. It wasn't even just the girl. It was all three of them. Couldn't nail it.
Uh-oh. The bankrupt.
Bankrupt.
Laura, you have another shot at it. You can spin the wheel or try to solve the puzzle.
I'll solve.
Okay.
Another feather in your lap.
Okay, so that's not right either. It's not another feather in your lap. She's having a hard time.
No. Although the feather is moving around. Christopher.
What the hell did that mean?
Well, it went from hat to the lap. Yeah.
Oh, I thought he meant it was moving around in his lap.
Yeah.
You know, anytime I hold a bird, it gets freaky real quick.
900.
D.
No.
No.
D. Nope.
Another feather in your dap?
Poundcake, would you have known this phrase?
Not at all.
See, that was what I was thinking, is that all of the Wheel of Fortune puzzles are predicated on these phrases that get less common with every year. And it's not like we're coming up with new, universally understood idioms, right? So, when was the last time you said another feather in your cap? That's what I was thinking, is that these are phrases where people who are watching Wheel of Fortune are screaming at their screen, but I feel like they're getting used less and less.
I'd say under 40 probably doesn't really get that.
Right, and these are, I mean, the contestants look like they're maybe early 30s, late 20s, early 30s.
Thomas. Well, Thomas, I think the wheel got... Laura, you have another...
This one guy can't get anything going.
Yeah,
he got bankrupt, he could lose a turn,
Oh, poor guy.
But
he
he's
probably knows.
And he probably he's like, I know it.
Right.
also spared himself any kind of embarrassment, I guess. But yeah, he probably knew it.
Opportunity here. You can spin the wheel. You can try to solve the puzzle. What do you want to do? Go ahead and spin if you don't know.
I'm going to go ahead and
yeah,
spin.
Don't
Oh
get
my
buzzed out here on time. Well, what letter would you like?
A P?
Yes,
You already have a P. Oh.
Another feather in your pap.
Yeah, right.
Smear.
Another feather in your wrap.
Must kill pap schmear. Yes, she gets the P.
Spin or solve.
I will solve.
Okay.
Another feather in your map.
Okay, so it's not map either.
How many
it's
letters are left?
3. She knows they can't.
No. How many letters are left in the alphabet? There can't be that many letters left to guess, is what I'm saying.
Oh, I mean, well, no, they're not that. I mean, another feather in your cap. I mean,
Zap.
there's a lot of T's, H's, E's, a lot of vowels.
I guess.
But there's only one remaining, the first letter of cap remaining. She got the P, defaulted to map. Now, what I would like to see happen is for these to become phrases that get used pretty frequently.
Feather in your map.
That's another feather in your map, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
Christopher, it's your turn. Oh my goodness. The bankrupt got you.
This guy's got
the
the worst
I'll spin.
I feel like that's more of a story than her not getting the thing. Is this guy that just can't get anything
Well, that
going.
was a different guy.
Oh,
that was
a different
the
guy.
other
Okay.
guy, yeah.
All right.
But she is the star of this clip.
Mm-hmm.
This guy finally gets to spin.
So
and
what
guess.
letter would you like?
A C.
Is there a C up there anywhere? There you go. You want to solve this?
Yeah, I'll solve. Another feather in your cap.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. And so Pat Sajak posting about a dozen tweets. Sitting at home, it seems incredible they couldn't solve it, but I knew in real time what was happening, Pat says. Yeah. All I want to do is help these people get through it and convince them that those things happen to even very bright people. I don't like when people make fun of... Now, like I said, Pat Sajak on social media has usually been so inflammatory that there are a lot of people who don't even think he wrote this. They think there's a social media director there over at Wheel of Fortune who wrote up this whole thread. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He's the host of the show. There's no reason to think that he didn't write a bunch of tweets. But it was wild to watch. But again, I could not help but think, boy, more and more when you see these go viral, they're phrases that people of a certain age just do not use. I'm 50, and I don't use the phrase another feather in your cap. But that also means, somebody texted me, what, this chick's never sung Yankee Doodle Dandy?
But he says stuck a feather in your cap. Stick a feather in your something like that.
But cap didn't occur to her, is what I'm saying.
What does he say?
And called the macaroni. Stuck a feather in his cap and called the macaroni.
But that's not saying another feather in his cap or another feather in your cap. Stuck a feather in
But the phrase feather in his cap.
It might even be hat. Stuck a feather in his hat and called it macaroni.
I thought it was cap.
I don't know.
I mean, I still don't know what the hell macaroni has to do with that whole song.
I think it's got a different meaning than
macaroni was slang for like cool and hip and, back then.
Hey, it's macaroni.
Let's bring that back.
You like this hat? It's pretty macaroni.
Macaroni, isn't it?
So myself.
Yeah, that's right. What was Poundcakes? It's not bologna. It's
pastrami.
Let's bring that.
But then you gotta do a little shimmy afterwards.
It's a bunch of pastrami.
It's pastrami.
Yeah,
about that.
That's right. I'd like to solve the puzzle, Pat. Is it Google it, bitch? My God, what dummies! Again, I take Pat's point. I've never been on a game show, and I would imagine that you're kind of like, okay, you're looking at it, and you're like, I got this. I got it. Another feather in your map. No, it's not that.
I'm playing.
So sorry.
Playing Wordle. There's times where I'm like, I cannot figure.
Think of a word.
I can't probably give away today's because that's not fair.
Yesterday's.
I don't. Well, that's not the example. Like today's.
Today's was tough. I went to 6 today.
Well, because I had. Hold on, let me look. I had. I think the last. Oh, not this one. I had to have been yesterday's. I had the last 4 letters for like 3 guesses, and it was just one of those where you could just change out the first one and it was a different word each time.
What was yesterday? Was it choke a couple days ago?
It wasn't. No, it was like
because I tried chode and I was really bummed out that chode didn't work.
Is that O-D-E or O-A-D? I've seen chode spelled a couple of different ways.
It accepted chode C-H-O-D-E, but it wasn't the correct. I had everything right except for the D. I needed a K.
Speaking of macaroni, I'm surprised this girl didn't say another feather in your wop. Alan, I'm 30. This phrase never comes up in daily life, but who doesn't know the phrase? I mean, again, you could make a case for that, but I couldn't tell you the last time I heard that phrase, another feather in your cap.
It sounds like something
It is very Wheel of Fortune. But
an old man would tell me after a show.
Well, that's another feather in your cap.
Oh, you did a table read. That's another feather in your cap.
Right. You keep on going.
Is that when you get under the table and you read where it was manufactured? Like they say Brooklyn, New York underneath. There's a stamp in there. They burn the logo right in. Was it one of those?
I bet if Dick from Dayton calls in today, he uses that phrase and he has no idea
he would know for sure.
that we were even talking about it.
Oh, somebody called about Dick and they were mad.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, on the after hours line.
Well, why were they mad?
Mad
at Dick?
Make him mad.
I'll play the call. Let me find it. Yeah, they weren't pleased.
Hey, Alan. Hey, crew. I was punching around some of your fine iHeart radio stations. I like listening to other cities, hearing other people's opinions. And I am sick and tired of every time I come across Cincinnati. Dick from Dayton, on again. This time, oh, where's the Reds? When do you think the Reds will play? I live for the Reds. Alan, I'm calling for strict sanctions on Dick, please. He's such a flip-flopper. He's just a turncoat. I used to love him, but I'm not a huge fan of Dick.
Wow. See? He wants Dick sanctions. Man, that's some scorched earth right there. Listen, if he's calling Cincinnati radio, he's not going to be talking about the Guardians or the Browns. I get it. He's geolocating for where he's calling. I'm not going to begrudge him that. He calls me, and I don't care. I don't have a dog in that fight.
He just wants to feel accepted, I think.
Well, I think that he would make himself more of a commodity if he called those Cincinnati radio stations and started talking about how great Cleveland sports teams are. That's how you get...
Or they'd stop taking his calls.
No, because sports radio is predicated on people arguing. That's all it is.
I guess.
So, that's how you make yourself invaluable.
Do you want an off-topic old man story that happened to me today?
Yes.
So I went to get
that
gas.
happened to you today.
Today.
This is a story from your own personal experience and merely hours old.
Yes.
Okay.
I went to go get gas, and so I'm at the gas pump, put my stuff in, go inside, grab a drink. Oh, scratchy lottery ticket. Cool. So I'm at the thing, put in the money, and I'm waiting to pick out from
Wait.
Good.
You're pumping gas.
Okay.
You go inside
To get a beverage.
and then impulse buy a scratcher ticket.
They have the scratcher machine. They weren't behind the counter. So
Gotcha.
I walked past the scratcher
Like
machine.
at the rest stop.
Yes. So I was like, okay. So I threw money in. And from behind me, as I'm standing there picking out a ticket, from behind me, this old man, he goes, "Is that my friend?" And I like turned around all slow and I was like, "I don't think so." And he goes, "Oh, there's another girl who comes in here who likes to play the scratchers." And he's like, there's like a...
That's how he makes friends.
Oh, 100%.
He pretends that he knows
pretends
you.
that he knows you, and then all of a sudden, oh, you're not that one, but you're my
You're
new
my new friend. So
That's pretty
he's sitting,
slick.
there's like a ledge, like a small, almost like a breakfast bar kind of area next to this lottery scratcher machine that has like a scanner ticket. So I'm assuming they have a lot of people come in, scratch, and sit there. This guy had a coffee. He was like posted up at the little scratcher station. He's
there for the morning.
He had a cash word, which is like a crossword puzzle scratcher where you scratch one letter at a time and then look for it in the crossword puzzle. They take forever. So he had a morning ahead of him. And I turned and he was like, "Oh, you're not my friend. There's another little girl who comes in here, yada, yada." I was like, "Oh, okay." So I like picked out my thing and he goes, "I'm going to tell you a story." And I was like, "Oh, God." And so he was going on about how last week someone hit for $1 million here and he's been coming in here for years and he's never won anything over 1,000. He's going on and on and on about the odds of winning $1 million and how he told the guy who won the $1 million which scratcher to pick.
But
and then
at
he
one
won.
point, did you cut him off and say, "You're a loser"?
I didn't.
You are a big loser. You're wasted your life on scratchers. Even if you won the money now, your life's over.
He had
You're
on
almost
a
dead.
war veteran hat. Well, am I going to talk to a veteran like that?
Which war?
Vietnam.
Oh,
I
come
think.
on.
The yellow letters.
Eh.
Blue hat, yellow letters. So he's going on and on about how this guy
Stolen
won this
valor, I bet.
$1 million scratcher, and he didn't give him any of the money. The winner didn't give this old man any of the money, even though he told him which one to pick. So he was like bitter about this.
Oh, yeah.
So then I'm like, oh yeah, that's crazy. I'm just like doing
This
my
was his
scratch-off
arch
ticket.
nemesis he was describing to you.
And I'm wondering how many people a day he talks to about this. If he sees anybody who buys a scratch off, he's like, "Hey, I have a story for you."
Anyone
you know?
at the machine.
Right.
Yes.
So he's going on and on. I was
Because
like,
you know why that is.
to make a friend.
He's hoping that someone goes, "Well, if I win, I'll give you some."
Well, here's what he did. So listen to this. I scratch it off, I lose. I'm like, "Ah, right." And he goes like this. He goes, "Oh, you didn't win this time." And I was like, "No." He goes, "You know what you're supposed to do after a losing ticket?" I was like, "Go home." He's like, "You're supposed to buy another one." I was like, "Oh, yeah." He goes, "Because now..."
You're supposed to make out with an old man.
You're supposed to sit on an old man's lap.
Let me
talk
tell you.
about whatever pops up.
Call you Pappy. But he goes, "You're supposed to buy another one because it changes the odds." He's like, "You see, before the odds were 1 in 3.5, but if that one loses, now they're 1 in..." So he's going on and on.
I would have thought the two of you would have bonded over faulty gambler logic.
So we're sitting there, I said, and he goes, "You want to go half on it?" Like that.
Yes, I told
And
you.
was like-
Wow,
I
this
was
guy
like,
has got a gambling
"Oh,
problem.
big time." I was
Yeah.
like, "Sure, man." I was like, "This was a $30 ticket, so we each put in 15.
He's running the Spanish prisoner on her.
Yeah, right? You help me, help you.
It's a $30 ticket?
It was a $30 ticket. And so he, well, you have better odds winning. I didn't win, but I was like, "Hey, it's my 3-year comedy or sober anniversary. Maybe I'll get lucky and also
I didn't even
win."
know they had $30
They
scratcher
had,
tickets.
like $50 scratcher tickets, not in Ohio, in
Wow.
other places. But so I told the guys, like, "We'll each go in 15. He's like, "All right." So we go and we put it in. And so I'd scratch one number and then he'd scratch one number and then I scratch
Oh, this became a
one
whole
number.
project.
Yeah, so we're sitting there and then we lost. Again, so we lost. And so he's sitting there and he's looking at me. He goes, "You know, it doesn't normally go like that." And I was like, "It always goes,
It goes like that. Is it,
What are you talking
could I
about?
interest you in buying some false teeth?
Right.
I would like another scratcher, and I'm all out of money.
Yeah, he's like selling his stuff. So
I have an investment opportunity for you.
So after that, after we lose, I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta go to work, you know? And so I was like, "All right, man, you know, that was fun." He goes, "Don't get the disease." I was like, "Excuse me?" He goes, "There's another woman who comes in here. She's a short black woman and she's got the disease. I saw her crying. She spent all the money in her purse. Just don't end up like her, okay?" And I was like, "All right, like, I'll see you later."
I don't want to end up like her or you.
Right. And as I was walking out, another guy walked in, sat his stuff down next to him, and called the guy by name. And was like, "Hey, man, what's up?" I don't want to say his name. I don't want to blow him up. But they were like, "Hey,
First
man."
name.
I don't think anybody's going to
It's
know
a-
who you're talking about.
It's a nickname. He was like, "Hey, what's up, Sarge?" Like that, because I'm guessing he was a sergeant in the army or
Probably
something.
a good guess.
But so this like younger man goes and sits down, puts down his coffee, puts down his bag, goes to the scratcher machine, and I'm like, "Oh, this is what these guys do all day.
Yeah.
Is just sit and hang out and play scratch offs and try to get some unsuspecting fool to go in halvesies on them." It was a pretty crazy experience.
And for one brief shining moment, you were that unsuspecting fool.
Well, because I was like, whatever. If this old man goes in $15 and we win $500,000, I'll split it with him. Why not?
Even so, you were only down $15.
Yeah.
I would do the Squid Games on and be like, oh, no, you didn't go halves on this one.
The marble thing? No, sir, that's not me. We've never met before.
I've never seen you before in my life.
It was an interesting morning.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Now, do you feel like you'll never be able to buy a ticket from that machine again? Because Sarge will be sitting there?
I was like, I guarantee he's here every day, if not damn near close. Because when he's telling me the stories of the guy who won the $1 million ticket, he was like naming people who worked at this gas station. He was like, Kelly was in that day and she's my favorite manager. He's like, so I'm like, oh, this guy's here all the time. So it wasn't like, I haven't decided which way I want to go with it yet. I'm like, do I want to befriend this guy?
They call that a character. He's a character.
So I haven't
Local
figured it
color.
out. What do you think? Do I go there once a week, or this is where I get my gas so that I can stop and have my moment with Sarge?
Yes.
I think so too. I think that's nice.
There's no harm in it.
Even though he's an addict, that's okay.
Someone's got the disease.
Right. The fact that he called it the disease.
The disease.
Don't you go getting the disease.
That's right. I'd give it all back to get one of my platoon mates' legs back. All right, I got a break. If you want to text for something, 35192 to get that in. AlanCoxShow.com to watch. And anywhere you are, you can listen on the iHeartRadio app.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.